In 2012, statistics showed that 7 million children were under institutional care in the United States alone. Adoption affects many people every year, not just in the United States, but worldwide. Adoption is something that can change not only your life, but obviously it can change the child who's being adopted's life, maybe make it better. Adoption is a serious issue all over the world, and I believe that families should become more educated about the topic of adoption. Today I will discuss some of the statistics of adoption, some of the steps of the adoption process, and why families should adopt. To start off, I will discuss some of the statistics of adoption in the world. There are over 7 million children in the U.S. that are under institutional care, such as foster homes. Over 7 million of the 7 million that are in institutions, over 60% of these children are 6 years old or younger. Imagine being 6 years old and having the feeling that nobody is around to love you. These are the years of a kid's life where they should have no worries and should only be spending all of their time being a kid, doing kid things, and not worrying about having someone to love them. The number of children that were in foster care in 2012 was 4.5 million. On average, children are in foster care for 25 months before they're adopted. 51% of the children in foster care leave with their original parent who maybe made some changes in their life and is able to come back and accept them back into the family. 29% of these kids are adopted by other families from these foster homes. 20% of all the 4.5 million children are stuck in foster care for 5 years or more. Last year, over 440,000 children were adopted from overseas by Americans. Next, I will briefly explain the process of adoption in the United States, some of the steps of the process. Sometimes when people look into adoption, the whole process seems to be a little extravagant and almost a little scary. But all of the precautions that are used during the process are for a good cause. There are 3 different types of adoption in the U.S. First is foster care adoption. That's where a parent wants to put up a child for adoption but can't find another parent for them. They go into foster care, which is a government subsidized way of giving these children a place to live until they can find a parent to adopt them. Private domestic adoption is another form. This is where the children never enter a foster care or foster home. They're just adopted, maybe straight from birth, or maybe somebody else just puts them up for adoption and somebody takes them into their family. And last, international adoption. This is where, like I said before, Americans may go to another country and adopt maybe somebody from China or Africa or a different country. People looking into adoption must go through a home study. The purpose of the home study is to make sure that the home is safe enough to have children. The people there aren't doing things like throwing parties or things like that, and it's a good environment for a child to live in. There's a lot of other court sessions and legal issues that have to be finalized when an adoption takes place. A judge must give either one or both of the parents custody of the child so they can take full responsibility of having the child as their own. The court will also perform background checks on both the parents, just to make sure neither one of the parents have any criminal records or have any chance that the child is going to get hurt in the home. There are many other things involved in the process of adoption, and a person seriously looking into the option of adoption can go into more depth, like online, and do more research to find out more things about it. Finally, I will discuss some of the reasons people consider adoption and some of the benefits to both the person and the child being adopted. One reason families look into adoption is because some families cannot have children anymore. Some families think the age is not appropriate to have another child, to maybe give birth to another child, so they adopt an older child to compensate for the age difference. Some may believe it is dangerous for them to attempt to give birth to another child. They may have health issues that could seriously injure the person if they try to give birth, so they adopt instead. Unfortunately, some people have health issues that make it impossible for them to give birth. Somebody may be sterile, or the mother may not be able to have a child. Things like this happen, and that's why adoption is good. Another reason some people wish to adopt is because some people have homosexual relationships, and it's hard to have a child in a homosexual relationship, so you adopt. Some families do not want to go through the birthing process again but they still want to give their child another sibling. So they may adopt a child similar in age, or maybe a little older, younger, just to give the child another sibling instead of going through the birthing process again. In conclusion, I believe adoption is a very good thing and is helpful to many children, teenagers, and families that are looking to extend their own family and maybe bring light into someone else's life. Thousands of children question if they have someone to love them every day. Imagine going through a single day of your life and having to question whether you have someone that loves you or not. Adoption is a great thing, and you can help not only change a child's life, but possibly change your life, or it could change someone that is close to you's life. After much research on the subject, I can honestly say that if given the chance or the opportunity came about, I wouldn't think twice about adopting. I can only hope that this speech has opened someone's eyes or changed someone's opinion about the subject or topic of adoption.